Hello everyone, welcome to another Java video. Today's video, we're going to talk about randomness in Java. So we're going to talk about specifically random number generation in Java, and we're going to be using a new utility library called Java util.random. So to generate numbers in Java, our first step is to import our random library, and we can use import java.util.random to do so. And you'll see that right here on line 14 that I've written in my code. And this kind of works familiar to like using a scanner where we had to import a scanner and then create a scanner object so that we can do scanner related things. In the same way, we're going to be importing random so that we can do import random related things. All right, and if it's similar to scanner, we're also going to have to create our own random object by having random typed variable, and we're going to say that is equal to a new random object, which I've written right here on line 19. And then in your code, you're going to be using some built-in methods. These are not all, but these are the ones that I personally find useful, and I'm going to be showing you each one and how they work in your code down below right here. But we're going to be using 3 built-in methods that are part of the random object or random library class. Okay, so the .next boolean, it generates either the value of true or false at almost equal probability. It's not guaranteed 50-50 because how programming works, but it is going to feel like it's going to be generating either true or false randomly at 50% probability for each. Okay. Then there is the .next double method. What it does is can generate the random numbers from 0.0 to 1.0 exclusively. Okay, and then there's next int, where you can give it a parameter of an upper bound value, which generates a random integer from 0 inclusively all the way up to our upper bound, not including that value, and you'll be able to generate random ranges of integers by using the next int method as well. So starting off with, on line number 19 in our code, we have a random object called rand, and we're going to be using this variable to execute and use the methods that are built into our random library. All right here, I just created this variable called coin to simulate a heads or tails kind of flip simulation. Right, and we're going to say that this coin variable is set to our random object dot next boolean. So it's going to be either a value of true or either a value of false, and it's going to depend every time you run this program. So on certain times when you run this program, the coin variable will be set to true. On other times, the coin variable will set to false. So we have an if statement here where we're going to say, depending on the value of our coin, if the coin value is true, we're going to say that the coin is showing head. Otherwise, we're going to say that the coin shows tail after it's been flipped. Okay, so when we run our code, right, it's going to say that the coin shows tail. In this run of our program, when we have artificially flipped a coin, it's saying that it flipped a tail. And then when we run it multiple times, right, now on our third run, we have a coin showing head. So it really depends on our run of our program that at each run, this variable called coin is going to be assigned to a different value, or true or false. In our example 2 here, we're going to be generating 4 random decimals. So to easily do that, what I've done is just set a loop that will run 4 times, and it's going to execute this code inside here 4 times. I'm just declaring a variable called num, and it's going to be set to random.next double. And how random generation works is that every time these methods are called, it's going to try to generate new randomness based on some inner workings of how randomness was coded in Java. So we often call randomness in programming called pseudo-random because it's not a true random of something randomly appearing. They actually are generated from a set value, which gets into the inner workings of Java. But regardless, what we're going to say is that this double variable called num is going to be assigned to the result of a next double. And what next double does is it's going to choose a random decimal from 0.0 to 1.0. So in our 3 runs so far, you'll see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 random decimal outputs, and you're getting various random decimals from 0.0 all the way up to 1.0, but not inclusively, and that's how we can generate random numbers. But personally, my favorite way to use randomness is to generate integers, and we're going to be using .nextInt. And what we're going to do is generate a next generate a random integer so that we can grab random fruits from an array list. So for me to grab random fruits, I need to have fruits in a basket of a array list. So what we did was we said that we're going to create an array list composed of string, and it's going to be called fruits. Okay, and in that fruits array list, I'm adding these strings of watermelon, grapes, honeydew, blueberry, strawberry, orange, banana. So we have that many random fruits. And if you see here, we get to output our fruits as watermelon, grapes, honeydew, blueberry, strawberry, orange, and banana. And what we're going to do is the following. We're going to grab a random fruit and assign it to a string variable. Okay, and this is the code that did that. So let's break it down. Whenever you have multiple methods being enacted like this, you always start from the innermost method. All right, so inside, we have fruits.size, the innermost method call. We are now setting our integer range from 0 to the length of our fruits array, because what Randomness needs is an upper bound that is told by us. We're asking, hey, next int, I want to generate 0 all the way up to this value that I set, and I want you to choose a random number from that range. Therefore, we get to choose random values in our array list of containing fruits, because they can be accessed by a random index value that starts at 0, and we know that the final value of banana will be located at length minus 1 of our array list. Then our line of code here on line 50 is using .nextInt to actually grab and represent and get a random index value from 0 of 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to be generating random values from 0 all the way to 7, because we have 7 different fruits, but we're going to be generating a random integer of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all inclusively, because it will go up to our size but not include the value of our size. And lastly, .get is an array list method, which allows us to grab a value at a certain index that we provide. Okay, so if you see here in our code, in the very first run, we were able to grab strawberry. That means that our program generated 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 as this random number. On our second run, it generated 0 from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to grab watermelon. And on our very last run, it was able to generate 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as its random number, the maximum number it can generate, and it was able to grab banana. All right, so today's video was all about generating randomness. We talked about next boolean, how it can randomly generate a true false value. We talked about next double, how it can generate a random double value from 0.0 to 1.0, not including the 1.0. And we also talked about how we can use an array list to grab random items in a array list by utilizing the power of .nextInt. And as always, thank you for watching and stay classy.